Hey, it's James Fathers Rights and Resources. Hashtag how I got custody. Had a woman on YouTube mention how she wanted more. She wanted to see more videos that are oriented toward women or women's issues or women's perspective, something like that. But I gotta say, everything that I talk about on my YouTube channel is gender neutral when it comes to court and strategies and fighting and standing up for yourself. And really the rights of parents. Most of them are all neutral. When I talk about the law, Troxel versus Granville, I mean, that's one of the basic fundamental things every parent should know. And it says that they assume that fit parents act in the best interest of the children. And if you're not found to be unfit, whether you're a mother or father, that applies to you. The statutes in, like, California, Family Code 3020B says it's the public policy of California for frequent and continuing contact with both parents after they separate. Florida is a 50-50 presumptuous law and has factors that they talk about, like which parent is willing to facilitate a relationship with the other parent. If the dad doesn't do it, he flunks that factor. If the mom doesn't do it, she flunks. So all this stuff is gender neutral. Getting on the offensive. Somebody lies about you being mentally ill. Objecting to and standing up to them and saying they're making a passive aggressive argument. They're trying to beat me to the punch or project on me. They're a mentally ill person projecting on me. Getting on the offensive, calling the person out, calling them a narcissist, saying that they need to get the mental health evaluation, using the evidence rules to keep out their bullcrap. All this stuff is gender neutral. It's the law. It's parental rights. The problem is the system has been biased for at least 6 decades. In the early 1900s in America, men used to always get custody. In the late 1800s in Europe, men used to always get custody up until about 1860. Then the tender years doctrine kicked in, and some feminists talked the courts into using the tender years doctrine that in the tender years kids need their mom more, so moms started getting custody, and guys would go without seeing their kids at all for 2, 3, 5, 7 years. The feminist movement, the suffrage movement in America kicked in, and then women started getting custody then. I don't know if they just specifically used the tender years doctrine or not, but that's outdated. The parents, but that doesn't make it in a non-woman issue. That just makes it that just turns things back to both parents are equal. So all this stuff is the same for each side. It's just that I'm telling guys to stand up for themselves and use these things because women are doing it, and guys are usually ballless and scared and cowardly. Or they have attorneys say, "Oh, it's a woman's state." I just saw the lead attorney, the guy, bald black dude with a big pretty smile. He always wears suits. He was an attorney in Atlanta for 20 years, and now he's up here doing all Hollywood celebrity stories and stuff like that. And then he admits that, he represented so many shitty mothers and they still got custody. Well, he was the lawyer representing them, so he was helping them get custody, and he should have been telling his client, you should do something even with him. I just saw a video where he says you got two chances to get custody if you're a dad: if she agrees or if she dies. That guy's totally full of shit. But all that being said, like I said, this stuff is gender neutral. Unless I'm doing a motivational talk for dads, like where I'm telling them to grow some balls, stand up. I don't know. I'm sure I have some pep talks and some things that are dad oriented, and I'm talking to dads, but I'm also speaking to dads and addressing them because dads get screwed way more. 80% of, 80%, well, I mean, only 20% of, there's 2 million single custodial father homes. Last time I checked, there's 20 million single mothers. That's 10 to 1. So, you know, so that's what, I guess that's not 90 to 10%. It's more like, I don't know what the numbers are exactly, but, it's closer to 90% of custodial parents are mothers. So obviously there's some overall bias somewhere because we're supposed to be equal parents. Like if you have five women apply for a job and five men apply for a job, let's say there's 10 jobs available at a company and 100 people apply, 50 are women, 50 are men. If 9 out of 10 jobs are given to men, people will be suspicious that there was some discrimination, or if it's black and white or any category of people. This is racism, sexism, or whatever. That's the ratio of custodial parents, women to men. Even some people might even get mad if a ratio is like if you have the same amount of applicants and the ratio is like 70-30. So, I'm addressing that, and there's a million resources out there for women. I don't know, maybe what I'm saying about this stuff, women don't even get in these women groups and stuff, but there's all kinds of advocates and advocacy groups and things like that a woman can go to court and cry and say, I'm scared he committed domestic violence, and um, they get whatever they want solely based on their crocodile tears. I do have some cases where women are real victims of domestic violence. They didn't speak up right away, or their attorney didn't speak up, or nothing was said, and so they get railroaded. So there's some tragic cases when it comes to domestic violence, but there's a whole bunch of women lying about it. So you know, fighting against domestic violence protection orders, that's mostly a guy versus woman issue. But everything else is pretty much gender neutral. So all you got to do is just listen to what I'm saying and see how it applies to you or your situation. You go and read the law and you go down the factors in the law and say, oh, I went on that. Oh, I went on that. The other parent isn't willing to facilitate a relationship. I got a better bond with the child. I'm performing most of the parenting duties. Yada, yada, yada. You go to Troxel versus Granville. We're both assumed to act in the child's best interest. He's saying that I don't think about the child. It's an assumption that I think about the child because of Troxel versus Granville. All those things are gender neutral. So my page is filled with gender neutral stuff. There's stuff on here. If you're a woman and getting screwed, or your lawyer's not doing a good enough job, or your lawyer's trying to say just work it out because your lawyer's lazy, you light a fire under your lawyer, like I talk about in videos about lawyers. If you're dealing with a lawyer that you're frustrated with, then you could go on my page and type or click in the magnifying glass above the main video or the introductory video. The one that automatically comes on when I go to my YouTube page. You can't do this on your phone because there's no magnifying glass above the phone that I don't see it. But on a tablet or a laptop or desktop, you can go in there and you can type in lawyers or attorneys. Sometimes I say attorney, sometimes I say lawyer, and find all my videos on that topic. Or discovery. The discovery is neutral. That's something, doing a deposition on the other person, setting them up. Things that I talk about preparing for trial. Things I talk about putting pictures together, putting a diary together. Just about everything I could think of that's a topic outside of motivational stuff like lighting a fire under a guy's butt and motivating him to fight. Pretty much everything else when I'm talking about dealing with court, fighting in court, using the law, looking at law, how to look up case law. The one I did were a few days ago from this point, did a video on how, to look up case law or an example of looking up case law. I'm trying to think of anything else, but pretty much everything on my page is gender neutral. If I say, hey men, you need to do this, hey men, you need to look at the law, it's the law. If you're a woman, you can look at the law also. So just go do the stuff I'm talking about, or if I say, go look this stuff up here, here's how to look up case law, go look up Troxel versus Granville. Now, on my flow page, there's a science about absent fathers, but there's only 1 out of 3 links in there that are specifically about fathers. The other 2 are about both parents and equality there. So everything's pretty much gender neutral. Just look at it and apply it. And if I say man, just ignore that and then go to it.